Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For today's box opening, we're going to go back and take a look at Strixhaven School of Mages. Now I've selected this particular box because it has the Mystical Archives, which is very similar to the retro artifacts in Brothers War. So there's 63 cards in each of the two sets. All cards are either uncommon, rare, or mythic, so I figured why not just take a look at another set that's kind of structured the same way. So this time we've got set booster packs. I also just recently opened up some collector booster packs of Strixhaven. If you want to go back and look at that video, I'll put a link to that at the top. And with that, let's crack these open and see if we can find some good value. All right, so we've got our art cards because this is a set booster box. An island, an expand anatomy, a big play, a frost tinkerer, trickster, charge through, a mage duel, followed by a thunderous orator, a Killian ink duelist, a reflective golem, and then we're going to see Kasmina Enigma Sage coming in as a mythic. Very nice to see this. Does hold a little bit of value. And we're going to see a growth spiral coming out of the Mystical Archives. Holds a little bit of value as well. And then we get a novice dissector with an avatar token in the back. All right, so we got another art card, non-signed, with a mountain, a pest summoning, unwilling ingredient, novice dissector, bayou groff, followed by a tangle trap, and then we're going to see a scurrid colony, a spring mane servant, followed by mortality spear, and then we're going to see a baleful mastery coming in as our rare, not high value, and then we're going to see a whirlwind denial, also not high value, followed by a Zephyr Boots, and a Yavimaya Scion coming in from the list. All right, another non-signed art card, followed by a Forest, an Introduction to Annihilation, Exhilarating Elocution, Guiding Voice, a Promising Dusk Mage, then we're going to see a Professor's Warning, a Letter of Acceptance, followed by an expressive iteration coming in from the main set. Does hold a little bit of value. And then we've got a Maelstrom Muse with a Silver Quill Silencer coming in as our rare, not high value, followed by an Eliminate from the Mystical Archives with a Thrilling Discovery and an Inkling token in the back. So the cards from the main set that we're looking for are really the Beledros Witherbloom would be one of the cards from the main set. Okay, this is a little weird. Oh, okay, so we're going to see a rare up front, right behind the land, an Illuminate History, followed by a Dragon's Approach. This is going to be one of our commons currently valued over $1, so we'll take that. Then we got a Heated Debate, and Agiar Battleseer, followed by a Sudden Breakthrough, Rutha Mercurial Artist, an Ingenious Inspiration, and then we're going to see an Archmage Emeritus coming in as our rare from the main set. Does hold value. And then we got a Selfless Glyph Weaver coming in. It's a flip card. There's the other side. And then we get ourselves a Dark Ritual coming in from the Mystical Archives. Does hold some value. And then we got a Burfrog Befuddler and a non-token token. So that was a 4 rare pack. So very cool to see that, especially from an older set like this. We got ourselves a Foil Swamp, followed by a Spirit Summoning, Leech Fanatic, a Blood Researcher, Spectral of the Fens, followed by a Moldering Karok, Professor of Zoomanity or Zoomancy, a Witherbloom Apprentice, a Bookworm, and then we're going to see a Fury Calm Snarl coming out of the land cycle, value just over $1 right now. And then we're going to see an Abundant Harvest, not valued over $1. And then we get a Lorehold Apprentice in foil with a Pest token in the back. So from the Mystical Archives, there's really 4 cards that we're searching for. We're going to be looking for a Natural Order, currently worth around $11. Then we're going to be looking for a Time Warp, currently about $12. Teferi's Protection, currently about $20. And then a Demonic Tutor, currently at $47. All right, Mercurial Transformation, First Day of Class, Eager First Year, Snow Day, Prismari Apprentice, Creative Outburst, followed by a Spell Satchel, Storm-Kiln Arsonist, does hold a little bit of value as an uncommon, and then we're going to see a Manifestation Sage coming in as our rare, followed by a Negate from the Mystical Archives, and a foil Snakeskin Veil from the Mystical Archives, with a Spirit token in the back. So only one list hit thus far. It's a little low in my opinion. Oh, sort of a signed art card. It's a gold stamp down there in the lower left-hand corner. I'll take it though. Environmental Sciences, Elemental Masterpiece, a Resculpt, Teach by Example, followed by a Pop Quiz. Then we got a Pigment Storm, an Overgrown Arch, a Mortality Spear, with a Vanishing Verse coming in as our rare, a little bit of value, with a Faithless Looting coming in from the Mystical Archives, again, just a little bit of value. I guess every little bit helps. Then a Beaming Defiance, and a non-token token. All right, could have a list card back there. There's Casmina again. We got ourselves Forest, the Summoning, the Karok, the Cram Session, the Witherbloom Campus, the Honor Troll, Fortifying Drought, followed by Devouring Tendrils, and then we're going to see Galanzith Prismari coming in as a mythic from the main set. Does hold a little bit of value as a mythic, and then right behind that we're going to see another mythic, Jadzi Oracle of Arcavios, and a Snakeskin Veil with a Blood Age General, with a Venerated Teacher coming in from the list. Interesting looking wizard there. Can't recall the set symbol on that, but it'll be in the overlay for you. Cool art card. We got a Reduce to Memory, Spiteful Squad, followed by an Arrogant Poet, Silverquill Campus, the Silverquill Pledge Mage, the Owlin Shield Mage, Combat Professor, Team Pennant, and then we're going to see a Callous Blood Mage coming in as our rare from the main set, and we're going to see a Growth Spiral coming in from the Mystical Archives. So Growth Spiral does hold a little bit of value. And then we're going to see a foil Expressive Iteration here. So Expressive Iteration used to be valued a lot higher, but it's recently seen some bans, and I think just favor has kind of fallen out with this card. But still, nonetheless, it is an uncommon, valued over $2, so in foil, could hold a little bit more value. There were collector booster boxes, so foils are pretty prevalent with this particular set. No extreme foil factor going on. Foil Islands. Then we got a Pest Summoning, Spectral Mage, the Waterfall Aerialist, followed by a Prismari Pledge Mage, Prismari Campus, the Campus Guide, the Witherbloom Apprentice, the Frost Boil Snarl coming in from the land cycle. This is going to be the most valuable out of the land cycle. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean it's only worth $2. And then we're going to see Vidalian Dean of the Vein, and a Defiant Strike coming in as our rare, or excuse me, uncommon from the Mystical Archive set, with a Moldering Karok and a Fractal token in the back. To my knowledge, none of the tokens from this set are high value. I'll correct it in the overlay if there are any that I find. Introduction to Prophecy, Witherbloom Pledge Mage, Essence Infusion, Star Pupil, the Exhilaration Elocution, the Brackish Trudge, followed by a Deadly Brew, a Dina Soul Steeper, then a Retriever Phoenix as our rare, followed by Claim the Firstborn from the Mystical Archives, and then we're going to see a Silverquill Silencer coming in from the main set as a foil rare with an elemental token. So be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll do a full MTG box analysis and break down everything that we've seen here and kind of give you all the stats and metrics. All right, so we're going to see another rare up front, a Confront the Past, followed by a Lore Pledge Mage, the Lorehold Campus, Enthusiastic Study, the Twin Scroll Shaman, followed by the Make Your Mark, the Zephyr Boots, the Umbra Juke, then a Gnarled Professor as our rare from the main set, with a Growth Spiral coming in from the Mystical Archives. So we're seeing a little repeat action there. Then we got a Dueling Coach and a Moon Mist coming in from the list. All right, so now we're up to 3 list hits. Now with regard to duplication from the Mystical Archives, again, there's only 63 different cards in the set. So a little bit of duplication is likely to be expected. We've got ourselves a Spirit Summoning, a Defend the Campus, Mage Hunter's Onslaught, followed by Rise of Extus, then a Lash of Malice, another Bookworm, followed by another Honor Troll, and a Tanazir Quandrix coming in from the main set as our rare. Does hold a little, or excuse me, as a mythic, does hold a little bit of value, with a Kiani, Dean of Substance as a rare. And then we're going to see an Adventurous Impulse from the Mystical Archives with a Study Break and a Treasure Token in the back. All right, I'm just going to stack up our commons so I don't knock anything over. All right, another non-signed art card, Planes, the Environmental Sciences, Guiding Voice, Promising Dusk Mage, Professor's Warning, Letter of Acceptance, First Day of Class, 10 to the Pests, Demigoth Woe Eater, and then an Accomplished Alchemist as our rare. And we're going to see a channel coming in from the Mystical Archives. Unfortunately, this mythic is worth less than $1. And then we got a Pilgrim of the Ages in foil with an Inkling token in the back. So not the mythic we're looking for out of the Mystical Archives. We want that Demonic Tutor. All right, we got ourselves a Containment Breach, a Relic Sloth, an Illustrious Historian, a Mascot Interception, Practical Research, followed by an Explosive Welcome, a Mentor's Guidance, and then we're going to see a Dramatic Finale coming in from the main set as our rare, with a second rare, Pestilent Cauldron, and an Infuriate uncommon from the Mystical Archives, with a Field Trip in foil and a Spirit token in the back. All right, another non-signed art card. Introduction to Annihilation, the Crushing Disappointment, Beaming Defiance, Infused with Vitality, Fortifying Drought, a Devouring Tendrils, a Brackish Trudge, Deadly Brew, and then we're going to see a Blade Historian as our rare, and we are going to see a Counterspell as a rare from the Mystical Archives. Counterspell is typically not a rare, but in this particular set it is. So very cool to see that. Does hold some value. And then we got a Foil Team Pennant and another non-token token. If you're wondering why you're not seeing any Japanese alternate art, those are limited to the collector booster boxes. You're not eligible to get those in set or draft. So just wanted to kind of point that out there. We got an Elemental Summoning, Eager First Year, followed by a Spiteful Squad, an Arrogant Poet, Silver Quill Campus, Silver Quill Pledge Mage, the Eye Witch, or Eye Twitch, and then we've got an Academic Dispute, followed by another Dramatic Finale, and an Agonizing Remorse uncommon from the Mystical Archives with a Campus Guide, and a Cradle Guard coming in from Urza. Very cool. So now we're up to 4 list cards in this particular box. Don't know the value of those off the top of my head. None of them look or appear to be high value, but they'll be in the overlay for you. So we got a Necrotic Fumes, followed by an Excavated Wall, a Tome Shredder, Thrilling Discovery, Test of Talents, followed by a Flunk, a Go Blank, Stonebinder's Familiar, and we're going to see a Prismari Command coming in as our rare. Does hold some value, followed by an Electrolyze from the Mystical Archives. Does not hold much value. And then a Galanzeth Prismari coming in as a foil mythic. Very cool to see that, with a pest token in the back. So right now, I'm feeling that this box is about average. I'm not seeing too many big hits. We haven't hit a single card over $10 as of yet, so this might be a break-even box. We'll see. The analysis will yield that out. We got a basic conjuration as a rare, a hunt for specimens, unwilling ingredient, a novice dissector, Bayou Groff, followed by a Tangle Trap, a Scurrid Colony, then a Dina Soul Steeper, an Accomplished Alchemist for our second rare of this pack, and then a Revitalize Uncommon from the Mystical Archives with a Heated Debate, and an Elemental token in the back. So far just one pack with 4 rares in it. All right, we got our Forest. All right, and then we got ourselves a Pest Summoning, followed by an Owlin Shield Mage, a Combat Professor, Lorehold Pledge Mage, Lorehold Campus, an Enthusiastic Study, Wormhole Serpent, followed by an Auric Lore Mage coming in from the main set, with Yvilda, Dean of Perfection. Comment below. Let me know how poorly I did. And then we get an Approach of the Second Sun coming in mythic from the Mystical Archives. Does hold some value here. So hooray. And then we got ourselves a Pop Quiz and a non-token token. All right, so I'm just going to stack those up over there. And we'll just keep going through these packs. Very cool art in this particular set. If there's one art series I would recommend that you collect, it would be these. All right, we got an Introduction to Prophecy, an Expel, Stonebound Mentor, Stonerise Spirit, Pilldrop Warden, Pilgrim of the Ages, followed by a Fuming Effigy, an Ardent Dust Speaker, and we're going to see a Retriever Phoenix as a rare, and then a Shock coming in from the Mystical Archives with an Ingenious Inspiration. Oh, and look at that. We got ourselves a Phyrexian Tower coming in from the list. Not sure of the value on this, but certainly feels like something sleeve-worthy. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the sleeve. Looks to be in really good shape. Centering looks okay. It's got a little extra at the top there. But, oh yeah, I can see it now on this side. But that's okay. I think that's going to be a pretty good hit for us. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be a 5-cent card. That'll be embarrassing. Then we get ourselves a Plains, a Fractal Summoning, a Spring Mane Certain, Leech Fanatic, Blood Researcher, followed by a Spectre of the Fens, Moldering Karok, a Professor of Zoomanity. Then we're going to see Attend to the Pests, and our rare is going to be Attempted by the Auric. And we're going to see a Strategic Planning from the Mystical Archives with Leech Fanatic, and a Fractal token in the back. Really want to see one of the cards from this set valued over $10. The Phyrexian Tower is certainly nice, but I want more. Environmental Sciences, Twin Scroll Shaman, the Make Your Mark, Relic Sloth, Illustrious Historian, followed by an Excavated Wall, a Symmetry Sage, Master Symmetrist, with a Dragon's Guard Elite rare from the main set, and a Swords to Plowshares coming in. Very utilitarian card. So nice to see that. Does hold some value. And then we see a foil Whirlwind Denial with a Bogart Arsonist coming in. Very cool from the list. I'm going to put that underneath the Phyrexian Tower. All right, so still only one signed art card. Maybe that's just how they did it back then. So we got to start from scratch. Pilldrop Rescuer, Blood Age General, Ageless Guardian, the Study Break, followed by the Cogwork Archivist, Burying Books, Lorehold Excavation, and then we're going to see a Necro Blossom Snarl. So we're getting all the snarls, so we're up to 3 so far. Does hold some value. And then we were going to see a Sign in Blood coming in from the Mystical Archives. A little bit of value with an Infused with Vitality and another non-token token. And there's another non-token token. I recognize the backs now. Non-signed art, Swamp, Inkling Summoning, Spined Karok, the Cram Session, Witherbloom Campus, the Witherbloom Pledge Mage, the Essence Infusion, Star Pupil, Demigoth Woe Eater, and we're going to see Professor Onyx. Very cool to see this. Not over $10, but Liliana looking pretty darn good in this particular set. So we'll go ahead and put her down over here. Thank you very much. And then we get ourselves a Divine Gambit, a Fuming Effigy, and there's that non-token token. All right, so we've gotten 2 borderless Planeswalkers in this box, which is, I think, pretty good. None of the Planewalkers are really super high value in this set, but Liliana is always welcome. Introduction to Annihilation, followed by the Tome Shredder, the Thrilling Discovery, the Expel, Stonebound Mentor, Stonerise Spirit, Divide by Zero. Then we're going to see an Ingenious Mastery, followed by Extus Auric Overlord from the main set coming in. Not terribly high value. And then we're going to see a Whirlwind Denial with an Overgrown Arch and a Treasure Token in the back. All right, so we're down to 4 packs here. So unless we get saved, I'm going to say this is probably a break-even or just slightly above return on investment. So we got a Pest Summoning, a Reject, a Curate, Biblioplex Assistant, Needlethorn Drake, Reckless Amplimancer, Quintorius Field Historian, Reconstruct History, followed by a Silver Quill Silencer, and we're going to see Claim the Firstborn, uncommon from the Mystical Archives, and a Waterfall Aerialist with a Great Teacher's Decree coming in from, I think it's Eternal Masters. I actually have this playset. Very cool. Or a play mat, I guess you should say. It's one of my only play mats with dragons. All right, so we finally get a second signed art card there. Very cool. Then we got a Forest and an Academic Probation, rare up front. Exhilaration Elocution, the Guiding Voice, the Promising Dusk Mage, Professor's Warning, there's Liliana again in the background, Letter of Acceptance, Eye Twitch, Academic Dispute, and then we're going to see Mavadina Student's Advocate coming in. This mythic is not super high value. And then we are going to see Brainstorm. That is the background of the playmat. Different Brainstorm, but I wanted to keep the theme there. So we are going to get to see a little bit of value with that. And then we're going to see Zamone, Quandrix Prodigy, Uncommon Foil with an Inkling in the back. All right, 2 packs to go. Might have another list hit here. Got our Plains, Containment Breach, Pilldrop Warden, the Aether Helix, followed by Golden Ratio, Quandrix Apprentice, Quandrix Cultivator, an Emergent Sequence, and we're going to see a Poet's Quill rare, followed by a Torrent Sculptor rare, and then we're going to see an Eliminate not rare, but we are then going to see a rare Plarg Dean of Chaos coming in from the main set in foil. So 3 rare pack. 4 rare pack, Kindred Discovery, coming in off the list from Commanders 2017. It's very cool to see that. All right, final Strixhaven School of Mages set booster pack. All right, no list hit on this one because we got a Pest token in the back. Got our Mountain, the Summoning, the Burrog's Befuddler, the Arcane Subtraction, Square Up, Serpentine Curve, the Lorehold Apprentice, followed by Returned Past Caller, Professor of Symbology, a Silver Quill Command, and then we're going to see a Faithless Looting coming out of the Mystical Archives with a Bayou Groff and a Pest Token in the back. In today's MTG box analysis, we're going to review the Strixhaven set distribution versus the cards observed in this box. We'll take a look at set coverage as well as coverage by rarity. Then we'll look at duplication, the value of the set, the value that we saw in this box broken down by the Strixhaven main set, the Mystical Archive, cards from the list, and the art cards. Then we'll close it out with a brief summary of the box opening. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all of the metrics for this box as well as 50 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. Let's kick things off with the distribution of this box. This chart shows all the cards from the main Strixhaven set that we saw during the opening. The foils are in orange, the non-foils are in green, and the set is in gray as the baseline. In the non-foil space, we saw a variance of 15 cards among the primary colors of Magic, with blue having 20 and black having 35. It's also worth noting that this box contained 94 multicolor cards and 2 non-foil borderless. In the foil space, we saw at least 2 cards from every category, except colorless, non-basic lands, and borderless. In the Mystical Archives, we saw between 4 and 6 non-foils for each color and 4 multicolor. In the foil space, we only saw 2 cards. One was blue and the other was green. From a coverage perspective, we saw 202 unique non-foils in this box, which accounts for 69% of the 294 cards from the main Strixhaven set that we were eligible to see. Our highest coverage among the primary colors of Magic was in black, with 82% of the cards making an appearance in this box. In the foil space, we saw 32 of the 294 cards for 11% coverage of the cards we were eligible to see. This time, our highest coverage was a tie, with both white and red having 14% coverage. In this box, we saw 24 unique non-foils from the Mystical Archive, which accounts for 38% of the 63-card set. Our highest coverage was in white, with 45% of the cards making an appearance in this box. As I mentioned earlier, in the foil space, we only saw 1 blue and 1 green, providing us with 8 and 9% coverage, respectively. Pivoting to coverage by rarity, in the non-foil space, we covered 91% of the commons from the main Strixhaven set. We also saw 73% of the uncommons, 45% of the rares, and 23% of the mythics. In the foil space, we saw 16% of the commons, 10% of the uncommons, 3% of the rares, and a single mythic for 3%. Including duplicates, we saw 37 rares and 8 mythics from the main set in these 30 packs. Taking a look at the Mystical Archives, we covered 72% of the uncommons, 30% of the rares, and 13% of the mythics. In the foil space, we saw 2 cards, and both were uncommons, giving us 11% coverage. In total, including duplicates, we saw 12 rares and 2 mythics from the Mystical Archive subset. In both the Strixhaven and Mystical Archive subsets, none of our foils were duplicated, but in the Strixhaven set, we saw 78 cards duplicated 94 times for a box duplication rate of 29%. And in the Mystical Archives, we saw 5 cards duplicated 6 times for a duplication rate of 19%. Before we get into the value that we saw in this box, let's baseline with a look at the value of the main Strixhaven set. This chart shows all 294 cards from the main Strixhaven set. The numbers represent the count of cards broken down by color, category, and dollar range. Using non-foil pricing, currently there are no cards in the set valued over $10, and there's only 5 cards valued between $5 and $10. There are 38 cards valued between $1 and $5, but the remaining 251 cards are valued less than $1. If you were to add up the value of those 294 cards that were eligible to be pulled out of a set booster pack, you would have a grand total of $154.42. Now that we know the potential value of the Strixhaven set, let's take a look at the value that we actually saw in this box. In this box, we saw 1 card valued between $5 and $10, and that was the borderless Professor Onyx valued at $7.79. We also saw 13 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 282 non-foils from the main set are currently valued less than $1. In the foil space, only 2 of our 32 foils were valued over $1. Before we look at the value of the Mystical Archive cards in this box, let's again baseline with a look at the cards that are possible to be pulled out of a set booster pack. Of the 63 cards, using non-foil pricing, there are currently 4 cards valued over $10, 2 cards valued between $5 and $10, and 19 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 38 cards are valued less than $1. And if you were to add up all 63 cards in non-foil, you'd have a grand total of $157.91. Unfortunately, in this box, we didn't see any of those 6 mystical archives valued over $5. We did see 12 of the 19, though, that are valued between $1 and $5. The other 18 mystical archives that we saw are currently valued less than $1. Replacing 8 of our tokens were cards from the list. Unfortunately, 6 of these were minimal value. But thankfully, we did see a Kindred Discovery from Commander 2017, currently valued at $5.42, and a Phyrexian Tower from Urza's Saga, valued at $21.08. In this box, we saw 30 art cards. 2 of them were gold stamp signature cards, making the gold signature pull rate for this box 7%. Unfortunately, neither of our 2 signed art cards were high value. The set does, however, feature a few signed art cards which do hold some value. They are the Time Warp, valued at $2.50, the Harness Infinity at $2.53, the Tendrils of Agony at $2.56, and the Sign Lightning Bolt has a market value of $6.22. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this box from Card Kingdom for $109.99. Today's set booster box contained 30 packs with 12 cards each for a total of 360 cards plus art cards, list cards, and tokens. The 16 tokens that we saw are currently valued at $3.30. The 28 non-signed and 2 signed art cards are valued at $4.69 combined. The 8 cards from the list are currently valued at $26.91, and our 32 mystical archives are valued at $27.76. From the main set, the 32 foils that we saw have a value of $10.70, and the 296 non-foils from the main set are valued at $58.86. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box is $132.22. This is a small gain of $22.23 over the price I paid and equates to a return of 120%. Now, for those of you interested in cards just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 16 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a combined value of $76.29, which accounts for 58% of the total box value. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, do something amazing.